Organizational development maturity level. In other videos, you can look at some other at the same subscription, clextra subscription on YouTube channel. You can check out the maturity level, which I've been talking about quite often. That's a four-stage maturity level: one, two, three, four. There is also the people maturity model, which is a five-stage, which can be the benchmark could be the people maturity or the capability maturity model, which has five stages. But for this organizational design, we're going to use a four-stage maturity. So the first stage is a stovepipe, the second is a sharing, the third is cooperation, and the fourth is community. Especially when we talk of work from home and online digital transformation, the organizational design has to reflect the reality of how digital online economies work. So let's look at the way this maturity takes place. It takes place over a period of time. There is investments in infrastructure. There's a lot of culture changing people, teams, and the way you work. Processes, standard operating procedures have to be changed. SOPs have to be rewritten. Policies have to be defined, and you have to build a culture towards moving from the top left-hand corner to the bottom right-hand corner. So the stovepipe is essentially you're just making it available. That's it. You beyond the infrastructure, you're not thinking through things. Then you move to the next level where you do hope to interact, and there is much more of one-to-one, one-on-one communications. Things do happen. Then you move into creating win-win situations. We've discussed those kind of behavioral aspects where people cooperate and work with each other, eventually moving to a collaborative community where if there are 60 members, you're not just getting 6x benefit, but much more than that, 60x benefit. We're looking at a 10x into 6 kind of potential when you're thinking community. So the technology has moved from, if you look at the horizontal, from desktop PCs to internal email to cooperation one-to-one. Interconnected to customers and suppliers is possible primarily because of the cloud, because of standardization, interoperability. You use a singular platform. So that's what we offer with our clextra platform, where you can interconnect with your suppliers and customers. We do have a solution from end to end for this, and hence we'll be able to present this. This is just not a theoretical approach to a solution. It is something practical that we can work with and from and through you. So the next is connectivity. Earlier we had silos. Security is a big concern. Safety, security, integrity, all are factors. But if you look at security, I mean, the defense just likes to keep unconnected. You don't use a mobile, don't use computers, don't digitize it. Have everything on pen and paper locked up. Perhaps that's the best way of securing it. But uh, when you need to share it, when there is other people who need to contribute to the data, you cannot stay unconnected. So the community, enterprise-wide connected connectivity, if you want that, then there is a certain level of trust. There has to be audits and ways and means of escalating it and quickly nipping something in the bud. It's like you would do anything in nature, agriculture or farming. Um, if there is a problem, you would go to the spot of the problem, the hot spot, and then correct it, whether it's a pandemic or whether it's a pest factor in agriculture. You would go to, or there's a bad apple in a basket of apples, like say, remove the bad apple. Likewise, in society, if there is a bad behavior or criminal behavior of an individual, it's identified, isolated, and the person goes to a correctional facility, prison. So any which way, any connectedness has its upsides and downsides. So you have to think enterprise-wide and the good of the whole community. And there will be a certain element, certain percentages which will be a downside, which has to be managed or handled. So you move from departmentally connected to cross-functional connection before you become enterprise-wide connection. The cloud has started this whole thing. So we moved straight from unconnected or just partially connected or sharing connected to an enterprise-wide connected on the cloud, which is a huge paradigm mind shift for most enterprises. The culture has to change, which is entirely a behavioral aspect of all of this. You can put in the best systems and processes and methods, but if it is not followed, it's not going to help at all. So in a stovepipe, each person is for themselves, and they look after themselves. Most HR policies tend to reflect that. Uh, Very few good incentives, or I mean, that itself is questionable whether you should have an incentive or a bonus based system, or you should have some other systems. But assuming each person it's designed well, then you're still looking at each person for themselves, their career, what they can get out of it. Quite often it is a win lose. They have to win at the loss of someone else. So if you get a promotion, the other person does not get a promotion. So you have bell curves, which so it's a capitalist versus socialist kind of approach. So each man for himself, each person for himself is debatable, but you have to think through that really well before you work through that. So in the sharing model, you say this is the pie. This pie is going to be shared between all of you, and some people you may agree that everyone gets equal part of the pie. If there's eight pieces in the pie, then eight people, each person will get 1/8 of the pie, and everyone may be happy with that. Alternately, you might say that the person who deserves more, or for whatever reasons that are justified, gets quarter of the pie, while the other seven get the balance three-quarter. How do you justify that, and on what rational transparency, and how is the culture that allows that 25% to go to only 12% of the team has to be justified properly. So if you expand that pie, obviously you can get a second pie, third pie by going outside your zones and outside the organization, growing your company, scaling your company. So if there's a greater pie for everyone, then obviously those kind of questions don't come up at all. So how do you grow the pie is an essential part of community building. Um, so that becomes a behavioral aspect of how you design that. The organization itself, which is the OD part, organizational development part, is you moving from an individual to a task force to get a job done to a team, and the team then works towards a knowledge community. And today we talk of the internet, Google, being able to Google something, or Amazon, and the collective knowledge and uh, uh, data which is there online, which is known to a few of the large tech companies. For example, uh, Big Basket in India or Amazon in the US, Flipkart. They know your purchasing power. They know the size of your wallet, how much you spend. Probably if you're buying insurance products through them as well, and you're doing your banking, they might know your bank balances as well. So they know every if it's Google Pay, for example, is connected to bank accounts. So theoretically, the amount you have of money in a month, how much you spend, what do you spend on, when do you spend, is all known, and it's available uh, to those who have the power of having that knowledge. So it has moved to a state where you don't need marketing, or you know when you're going to buy something and what you're going to buy. So the whole marketing, advertising, communications paradigm has shifted towards a knowledge community, not just for within your organization, but outside your organization. But to get to that point, you have to move from an individual to a group to a team. So this is how the maturity moves from the top left-hand corner, as we saw, technology, connectivity, the culture, and the organization, into a knowledge community that uh, you want to build for yourself, which fits into local and global uh, business environments across the world.